Hi, this is Patrick Liu of Patrick Liu's Band, my solo musician project, and this is a vlog on YouTube and my various music websites on video, streaming broadband video on internet, about 20 things I missed as a kid, basically. You know, when I was a kid, there was a lot of things I loved growing up. There was like little things to take so seriously and have a trip over the smallest shit or whatever, but basically I was born in the year 1985. I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s. Basically, life is still great at this moment, but something is missing nowadays, really. What is it? Oh, yeah, the stuff I missed growing up as a kid. There are some things that I noticed that were around when I was a kid and when all my friends were all young that they're not there anymore, basically. They're like, the new kids are coming in, and maybe we get to that later, but new things are coming in, and it makes you feel kind of old and bitter, and you just really want to go back to that time period where you feel like something was still special as when you were like, let's say, 8 or 10 years old or whatever. So here's my list of top 20 things I missed growing up as a kid. First thing, do you remember the 90s? Of course, every 80s born, 70s born kid's going to remember the 90s for sure. So remember the 90s, you'll wake up every early Saturday morning to see cartoons and watch TV. And anything that was on Saturday morning on TV was worth getting up and watching back in the day, basically, because there was like Saturday morning cartoons like Animaniacs, Power Rangers, the old Nicktoons, everything else. And basically, I would wake up Saturday morning every single day to watch anything that was on TV because I was very introverted back then and didn't really have a band until I was like, 13 or 14 back in the year 1999 with Silent Minister with Ed and Tommy. So back then, everything was worth watching TV on Saturday mornings, even afternoons and evenings, but nowadays, nothing is worth watching or getting up in the morning for on a Saturday mornings at this present day. Nothing's worth getting up for in the morning to watch TV on Saturday mornings, basically, pretty much. Number 2, old school Cartoon Network in the early 2000s, like the old Toonami, like they used to show Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball GT or Z, whatever. And they had the original Adult Swim back in the day when they had anime uncut. Well, you can watch it nowadays on TV on Cartoon Network, but the bad thing is that you have to stay up late at night, and they're not usually on the time slot as originally planned at some point. So it's like you usually would sleep 4 in the morning, and you would not even watch a rerun of Inuyasha or, let's say, Cowboy Bebop. And there was a time where they would show Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes late at night on Fridays, which they obviously don't do anymore because they changed their direction and format. Number 3, important, 90s Nickelodeon and Disney. Remember when Nickelodeon had Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, Clarissa Explains It All, Welcome Freshmen, All Dad, Roundhouse, Alex Mack, and everything else? Well, basically, Nickelodeon really started to suck when they canceled Invader Zim in the year 2001. 9/11, by the way, which is really ironic for a time a TV channel you grew up liking would start to suck afterwards. And when they canceled all their 90s TV shows, that's when Nickelodeon went down the drain, basically. And as far as Disney is concerned, whenever Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers started coming in, I was like, whatever, blah. And number 4, back when MTV and VH1 actually played real music and played music in general on their channels rather than the shit they have now. When I watch MTV nowadays, what do you see? Laguna Beach, reality shows, and all this other garbage, basically, which I hate, which few Asians would complain about, but I complain about it because they lost the original concept of what music was all about and playing music. I remember back in the year 92 as a 6-year-old, I would stay up 1 in the morning to watch Headbangers Ball on MTV and catch the latest music videos of my favorite heavy metal hard rock bands, and they don't even have that anymore on MTV, except I think MTV2 still might have it, but the regular MTV just sucks in general. They don't play real music anymore. They just play a lot of garbage. And VH1 does the same thing by playing reality shows, which I get really annoyed about, which not too long ago, they played a lot of music videos and stuff like that. Number 5, Kids WB on TV. When they showed Batman, Pokemon, all those other shows, whatever happened to it? It's like not even there anymore. It's like, from what I heard, it's like an online channel only on a computer now, basically, on a website. Number 6, the original Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. I would remember that growing up, especially very well in the early, mid-90s, I would say, when they had the original Power Rangers, the Megazords, the Green Ranger turning into the White Ranger. Now that's all gone now. Whatever happened to those people? But my friend goes to like Power Rangers convention festivals, and they said all the original cast members show up every day and every now and then, except for the Pink Ranger, who's doing better things with her life right now in her career, so to speak. Number 7. Nowadays, kids just want iPods, Blackberries, laptops, and PS3s and PSPs and Nintendo DSs, basically. Whatever happened to kids wanting toys like G.I. Joe, Barbie, Hot Wheels, stuff like that? No one, like, buys toys anymore. Like, Toys R Us is already out of business and crap like that, and, like, Toys R Us is gone. I mean, no one really buys toys anymore. That's really weird. Everyone wants iPods and high-tech Blackberries now, and laptops. Shit. Number 8. Oregon Trail. When I was in 3rd grade, I would learn U.S. history by playing this game in computer class on an old shitty Macintosh computer, which was really subpar compared to the technology we have now. But that was a trip because we would actually play a fun game and learn history at the same time in class for grade school. Number 9. I remember when I'm from the Bay Area basically, so there was times where there was like the old stores I grew up going to and enjoying as a kid, and they're all gone. I missed them going to them as a kid, and like the Metreon was a cool place for me to hang out, but the PlayStation store there is gone in San Francisco, and like it got remodeled into some kind of weird middle-aged shopping center or fun attractions. The movie theater is obviously still there. The arcade's like dwindling down in proportions, but Tilt, whatever it's called Tilt, but it just doesn't catch my eye anymore. Tower Records is gone. I worked there back in '06 when it was closing down. I used to buy all my records there, and that's gone too. And Virgin Megastore when it opened. And I met Blink-182 at Virgin Megastore back in 2001 in a long line. I was lucky enough to meet them at the time, and that was a good memory I would remember all my life pretty much. I mean, I'll tell you more about it in my next vlog or something on video. Number 10. Although I hated grade school, sometimes grade school was pretty fun for me at certain points. We would use to like there's this time when the teacher was outside the bathroom or whatever, we were playing with our calculators, we're looking at porn on a PSP or laptop, or we were just pretending mimicking we're playing a Game Boy on Tetris or some shit like that. Well, your first kiss was an important part of me because I'm Asian, and I kissed a blonde white girl when I was in 6th grade, and I really miss those days when everything seemed so naive back then, and class awards, appreciation for your other schoolmates. They don't have that anymore in schools nowadays. Like, people are like try to be all gangster now and blast crappy ass music that's on the radio nowadays in their school dances. I remember when I used to be in my school dance during middle school and elementary school, we would blast like a lot of Tupac and Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Pearl Jam's Alive, and we would start a big old mosh pit whenever these songs start playing on the loudspeakers on the PA systems back in grade school on our school dances. Number 11, video game arcades. The video game center, like they call it in Japan or Taiwan, where I'm from. Basically, the video game arcade was a really fun place for the kids to hang out after school before this online gaming crap and complex video games technologies and that could duplicate what an arcade machine could do in greater proportion and technology now than compared to then, basically, and the internet. I remember there was Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2 being the big games at the arcade. There was long lines to play them at the arcade if you wanted to get in the line to play the game at the arcade, even if you sucked and etc. And man, there's like almost no arcades now. Almost arcades are being like dinosaurs in America, basically where I'm from, because I'm Asian. I'm Taiwanese American. Although it's more popular in Asia, by the way, but that's like bars, by the way. Well, arcades are just gone. They're gone. Number 12. When we used to call DJs at radio stations to dedicate a song or whatever song we wanted to hear on the radio, before these iPods and MP3s became super big, and when people actually bought CDs and tapes and vinyl at record stores and didn't download music off the internet, and it's like the internet killed the DJ star pretty much. Number 13. Listening to grunge and Britpop music on the radio and MTV when music was actually worth listening to in the mainstream back in those days, rap or rock, whatever. I remember there was a station on the Bay Area called the Z95.7. That's pretty much gone now. I think it's a different station now, I believe. Nowadays, they play a lot of crap music on the radio. It's really watered down and sugar-coated. And nowadays, I could just go on the internet on a website like social networking website like MySpace.com or independent music websites like SoundClick and Pure Volume to like find new bands to look for, new talent to listen to, support local music and regional scenes all across the world. And I think that music is kind of better than the stuff we have today in the music industry and MTV, whatever.